All I could think was I'd like to change my GPS to Gunther Steiner, though. Hello there in Internet Land. This is episode 6 of the 2023 season of the F1 Chat. I'm your host, Phil Lamington. Apologies my voice in advance and my interpretation of English. I do have a bit of a cold, so I'm a little bit bleh, but we'll get through it. We're reverting back to the old P&J's F1 Chat days, though, because there's no Longhorn this week. He's a bit tied up with other things. He's on assignment. So it's just me and JB. JB, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, good, mate. Kicking back on a long weekend. We're back. The OG. the OG P&J days.
DX reformed.
That's it. Minus all the other members because they're dead. Or just about.
Pretty much. No, Longhorn, he's fine. So's the alternate Facebook profile of Longhorn as well.
Yeah.
Someone tried stealing his identity and had set up a fake account, so we're going to hire him too. He can be on the F1 Chat as well.
Yeah, he wasn't available for comment today. We did try and draft him in last minute, but they just wanted my bank card details.
Something about community guidelines.
Yeah, no idea. No idea.
Right, so, look, I'll be straight with you. I slept through the Baku F1.
That's good. So did everybody.
And it was on at 9 o'clock. Like,
yeah, it was on at a reasonable hour.
And I just...
That's okay.
But we're going to kick off first. He's doing the F2 review. He's filling in for Longhorn. Longhorn owes you a pie, I think.
He owes me a pie.
Yes.
A single pie.
Because you're doing the F2 review.
I'm doing the heavy lifting. I'm doing double duty.
Welcome to my club, mate.
That's it. Well, not really. I'm literally just reading it off the website. So there was a Formula 2 race, 2 of them, in fact, a sprint race and a main race. The sprint race, Oliver Bearman demonstrated that to finish first in Baku, first you have to finish, as the British rookie claimed his first Formula 2 victory in a dramatic sprint race. Off the back of his maiden pole position, he lined up 9th on the grid and carved his way through the field to snatch the win from Prema Racing teammate Frederick Vesti. A late restart with only 3 laps to go brought drama as race leader Dennis Hauger and second-placed Victor Martins crashed out. The Prema pair were there to pick up the pieces as the race concluded behind the third and final safety car. High-Tech Pulse 8's Jack Crawford also kept himself out of trouble to take his second podium in third. And to the main race report. Oliver Bearman made it a clean sweep in Baku, adding the feature victory to his sprint win from Saturday. The Prema Racing driver put together a controlled drive at the front, managing the gap to rivals behind him after losing the lead briefly early on. Enzo Fittipaldi scored his first rostrum visit of 2023 for Rodrin Carlin with second place, pulling off a move around the outside of Théo Pourchaire in the closing stages. And I'll try and find the championship standings. After round 4, in first is Théo Pourchaire on 65 points. Second is Frederick Vesti on 62 points. And third is Aomi Awasa on 58 points. That's it. That's the Formula 2.
And Bearman, he's not worthy of still being labelled a bear man. So every time you said bear man, I kept thinking you were saying bad man from Scent of a Woman when Al Pacino's going off at the end of the movie. Still worthy of being labelled a bad man.
Bad man. No.
What kind of a show are you putting on here?
No, he's just a bear man.
Right. Then we had...
Formula 1.
Yeah, but with the F1, like, the whole weekend was
weird.
Different. Like, we had qualifying on Friday night.
We had one practice session.
One practice.
One actual practice session, and then qualifying.
Yeah.
For the Grand Prix. And then that was Friday. Saturday it was qualifying for the sprint race, and the
then
sprint,
sprint race.
and then Sunday was the Grand Prix.
Oh, look, I do actually like the idea of the sprint race not determining anything about the main race. I did enjoy that.
I actually don't mind that, to be honest. Yeah.
But, I mean, you did ask the question of what's the point of the sprint race then?
Yeah.
And I said it's just for points.
Yeah. They're still only awarding points to the first 8 drivers.
I think the only other thing they could do with the sprint race to justify it is if they use it for their, like Pirelli use it for their experimental tyres.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Formula One have sprint races at all.
More importantly, I don't know why we had a sprint race at Baku.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a track for overtaking.
The sprint race was probably more exciting than the main race, even though there was like 17 laps and not much happened in the sprint race.
Yeah.
Like the sprint races need to be on those high speed tracks.
Yeah.
Monza, Austria.
Spa.
Nah, you only get 4 laps at Spa if you did it that.
Hey, it's still good enough.
Nah, maybe Zandvoort.
Yeah, Zandvoort. Monza.
The shorter tracks, the shorter, faster tracks, they're the ones you want to have sprint races at.
Oh, it rules out Japan.
Yeah, you could probably do it at Suzuka.
But if you can't do it at Spa, you can't do it at Suzuka.
You can do it at Suzuka.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't. It's a long track.
It's long enough. Man, it really is
Just go to Pukekohe.
Yeah, why not? Could you imagine Formula One at Pukekohe? They'd be doing like 30-second laps.
Great for a sprint
It'd
race.
be like when they went to like the secure outer loop and it was like a 59-second lap.
See, if they're going to do a sprint race in Bahrain, they should do that track for the sprint race.
Yeah, they should.
Okay.
They should.
Oh no, we've got to prep the track. Like, yeah, you just move a couple of bollards and
turn all the lights on and move the bollards out of the way.
yeah, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
You know, they're
Just remember to don't turn left at turn 3 during the Grand Prix or you're going to eat wall.
Just put the GPS on the steering wheel.
Yeah, don't turn right there during the sprint race and don't turn left there during the Grand Prix.
I can imagine them driving along going, boom, boom. In 200 metres, turn left.
Do not turn right.
They got that, the Siri girl.
Yeah, the Aussie chick, the Aussie GPS chick.
No, she's from here. She's from Mackay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's cool.
she actually played a concert here a couple of weeks ago.
Did she?
Yeah.
She not make enough money off her GPS voice?
Oh,
She get royalties for that?
yeah.
Every time her voice is played on a GPS recording, she gets 20 cents.
Yeah.
I'd be raking it in.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of sprint race.
All I could think was I'd like to change my GPS to Gunther Steiner, though.
You fucking vanker.
You fucking vanker. You missed that turn.
I charge you to turn left and you turn right. Fucking vanker.
It cost us fucking millions.
Now I have to ring fucking Gin. Fucking explain your fucking hell. Fucking hell.
You smashed my fuck door.
I would pay money to DLC that, actually, yes. There was an option where celebrities were like starting to do it. GPS voices, and I don't know if it continued, but if it does, Gunther Steiner needs to be on that list.
Or Christian Horner. Change your fucking car.
You got to you can't U-turn here.
Change your fucking car.
Change your fucking car.
Or the Ferrari one will be, it was a mistake. Checking.
What direction do you want to go? Question. We're going to go to plan C, turn left, and then take the roundabout.
We're looking into it for you.
Which way do I have to go up here? We are checking. I really need to know. It's like 300 meters.
You go past the corner.
Just missed it.
We are checking.
Fucking Jesus Christ. Ferrari race performance. Now available in your daily commute. Want to be really late for work?
Be late the Italian way. The Ferrari way.
Oh, God. Oh, you break me. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Sprint race.
Sprint race. All right. The Azerbaijan sprint. Lap 1. Charles Leclerc starts on pole position from Red Bull's Sergio Perez. George Russell and Max Verstappen make contact, the Mercedes ripping a hole in the Red Bull's side pod as Russell squeezes past into third. Yuki Tsunoda's right rear tyre parts ways with his AlphaTauri in turn 15 as he understeers hard into the wall, triggering a virtual safety car and then eventually a full course safety car to clear the wheel rim debris. Lap 5, Max Verstappen times his overtake to perfection on George Russell off the restart. Carlos Sainz diving under Lewis Hamilton as well, opening the door for Fernando Alonso too.
He'd be the only person diving underneath Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, pretty much. Sergio Perez picks off Charles Leclerc using DRS to take the lead of the sprint race on lap 8. Oscar Piastri passes McLaren teammate Lando Norris for 10th. Lap 9, Lando Norris loses out to both Haas cars as he begins to struggle as one of the only cars on the soft compound tyre for the sprint. Lap 11, Lando Norris boxes for a set of medium tyres, dropping him to the back of the pack. Lap 12, Lance Stroll passes Alex Albon for 8th. Bottas complains that his soft tyres are melting. Lap 13, Esteban Ocon pits to lose his set of soft compound tyres as well, putting on mediums. And lap 17, Sergio Perez wins the Baku sprint race from Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. And if you thought the main Grand Prix was going to be any more exciting than that, you are wrong. So, the sun rises over the city of Baku.
And that's the race.
And then the sun set, and there was some cars drove for a little bit, and then the sun set. And that was the race. All right. So, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from Baku City. Lap 1, Charles Leclerc starts on pole position from Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc holds off Max Verstappen. Lance Stroll moves up a couple of positions off the start, as do Russell and Magnussen. Valtteri Bottas loses 5 positions as he's held up by Oscar Piastri and is hit by Kevin Magnussen. Lap 4. Max Verstappen slips past Charles Leclerc and into the lead of the Grand Prix with the aid of DRS. Lap 6. Sergio Perez gets past Charles Leclerc into second place with the aid of DRS into turn 1. Lap 7. Valtteri Bottas and Pierre Gasly pit for hard compound tyres to potentially go to the end. Lap 8, Alex Albon follows suit from Williams, pitting for hard tyres and just staying out of Pierre Gasly. Lap 9, Piastri, Sargent and Tsunoda all box for hards. Lap 10, Hamilton and Norris box for hard compound tyres. Meanwhile, Sergio Perez has caught up to Max Verstappen. Lap 11, Max Verstappen pits for a hard tyres with Red Bull anticipating a safety car with Nick De Vries's AlphaTauri stranded. Lap 12, Sergio Perez pits for hard tyres along with Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso and George Russell as the safety car is deployed. Lap 14, Max Verstappen passes Charles Leclerc for second. Fernando Alonso passes Carlos Sainz. Lance Stroll passes George Russell. Lap 17, Lance Stroll clobbers the wall but somehow avoids suspension damage. Lap 20, Lewis Hamilton passes Lance Stroll into turn 1 for 6th. Lap 37, Zhou Guanyu retires from the race in his Alfa Romeo. Lap 46, Lando Norris passes Nico Hülkenberg into 10th for a valuable World Championship point. Lap 50, George Russell whacks some soft tyres on to have a crack at the fastest lap point. Lap 51, Esteban Ocon pits on the final lap. As he does so, a crowd of photographers and marshals are standing in the pit lane and are sent scrambling as the Alpine rolls past them to pit. And Sergio Perez wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from Red Bull teammate Max Verstappen and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc. George Russell gets the fastest lap. Sergio Perez gets driver of the day.
And Fernando Alonso finished 4th. Carlos Sainz finished 5th. Lewis Hamilton finished 6th. Lance Stroll finished 7th. George Russell finished 8th. That dickhead. Lando Norris finished 9th. And Yuki Tsunoda finished 10th.
Somehow. Some way.
Somehow. I think the only two memorable things about this weekend were, other than Charles Leclerc getting pole position.
And then bottling it twice.
It's amazing, that Ferrari. And it seems like it's a global thing of Ferrari cars over the years. They're really good at the one-lap pace, and that's it.
They just must eat their tyres.
Oh, yeah, Charles Leclerc has said, like, it's not great on the tyres.
Yeah.
You know.
But good on Sergio. He loves Baku. He loves all these street tracks.
Yeah, well...
He's just really good on his tyres out of these slow corners, I guess.
But then you also had the other two memorable things of the weekend was Max Verstappen calling George Russell a dickhead over their clash.
Yeah, that's a bit sooky.
Because Russell thought that Max was coming up to him saying, oh, yeah, it was a great race, da-da-da-da-da. And he started sitting there going, you got to do this, and da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And George is like, well, I had cold tyres. Max is like, we all had cold tyres.
Yeah.
And so George started walking off. He's like, you dickhead.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I think the quote was, oh, we're on cold tyres, we're all locking up. And then Max was like, we're all on cold tyres, so how about you actually expect it happening next time, dickhead?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
And Christian Horner said it's probably a good thing George Russell had his helmet still on.
I don't understand why he's so fired up. I mean, he finished ahead of him. It's not like he took him out of the race.
Oh, because he put a hole in the side of his car.
So?
Hey, Robin's racing.
Yeah.
But the other thing, and I saw the clip of it this morning, was Ted Kravitz going off his newt about those photographers.
Yeah. No, he was. Like, someone was going to get hit.
Yeah.
There were photographers and marshals in the pit lane getting ready.
They already had the Parc Ferme barrier up and everything.
But everyone forgot that Esteban Ocon hadn't made a pit stop yet.
Yeah.
He'd gone 50 laps on the hard tyres.
Yeah, like that's...
And he's had to make a last lap pit stop and no one told them. So then Ocon's come in and I shared the onboard in the group chat. And he's coming in. He didn't slow down either. He's coming in at 80 kilometres an hour, and if anyone was in the way, they were going to get cleaned up because he was not stopping.
No, well, I mean, he's racing.
Yeah, I'm still racing. Fucking move.
Yeah.
80 k's an hour, he moved slightly right to get around, to like safely get around them, but he was not slowing down.
But
he didn't tap the brakes at all.
But other than those things, this was possibly the most pointless race all weekend. Like, it was all year so far.
Yeah, this was terrible. This was easily the worst race of the year. Just completely devoid of anything.
It was up there with Miami last year in just terms of boredom.
Yeah, well.
And we've got Miami next.
And that's coming up next weekend. Like, Miami's got a chance to redeem itself.
Fucking
the
hope
bar's
so.
low. The bar's low, Miami. Get in there and fucking redeem yourself by being slightly more exciting than this, because I don't know what it is with this track. I've seen... Well, this track's been on the calendar since, what, 2015?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And there's been maybe 2 exciting races?
Well, I mean, the only time it's been exciting was the one where Sebastian Vettel hit the back of Lewis Hamilton.
And Daniel Ricciardo ran up the back of Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
And the tyre failures in 2021.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, 3 exciting races out of... Yeah.
And it's a pain in the ass track. Like, it's not even a fun track to drive on in the game.
I don't mind it, but it just doesn't produce good racing.
No.
When it should. The track layout enough seems like it should promote decent racing, and it just doesn't.
I think the problem is that you've got too many bottlenecks, particularly when you get to the Maiden's Tower corner, where just bottlenecks.
Turn 8 and it's just single file through there.
Yeah, like that's just silly.
Yeah.
Just silly. Right. I'm not even going to name any key drivers.
Sergio Perez, good weekend.
Perez and Ocon. Ocon gets points for not cleaning up the 7 and 10 pin split.
He had every right to that.
Right, so we get to the news. Speedy on through to the news.
Yeah.
Now, we only briefly touched on it because I remembered it about three-quarters of the way through the episode. But shortly before the last GP, James Key was fired from McLaren.
Yeah, McLaren, I don't know, they want to do an organisational shake-up or something. I don't know why James Key is the victim here. I mean...
Well, he was
look, the car's shit. Like, the car's aerodynamically draggy. Although it did get better this weekend.
They did bring
the floor upgrades seemed to coax it along a bit better. And they were both in Q3, which was nice.
But Andreas Stella has replaced James Key with 3 guys. One of them doesn't join until the end of this year.
I don't understand why you would be 3 races into the season and then drop the aero guy.
I don't know. But the new aero guy they've got, he doesn't start until the end of the year. He is the current Ferrari aero guy, David Schultz.
That's okay.
He's going to McLaren. So I have this sneaking suspicion that Ferrari's going to snap up James Key.
That wouldn't be the worst option. Just a swap.
Yeah. Straight swap, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, James Key's good. Like, he was on board with the 2021 car that was, like, starting to win races and look good.
Yeah.
I think these new regulations just caught them out a bit. And the wind tunnel. I
have a sneaking suspicion that him and Andreas Stella don't get along. That might be part of it.
That might be part of it too, I think. But he didn't even get to hang around for the opening of the wind tunnel.
Yeah.
Like, the wind tunnel is, like, opening at the end of this year, I think.
So, I mean, if James Key goes to Ferrari, it might be a fresh start for him. He might be able to show what he can do.
Well, it'll be a fresh start for McLaren too, getting
David Schultz.
Getting David Schultz in.
But he doesn't start because he's on gardening leave. So he doesn't join the team until the end of this year, start of next year.
No, that's all right.
But
well, he'll come in basically when the wind tunnel at Woking is going to be going into production anyway.
Yeah.
So he'll at least come in knowing that the equipment will be ready for him.
Yeah.
And hitting the ground running as best as possible.
But that's not the only technical personnel change that's happened in the first of 2 mid-season breaks this year. James Allison has rejoined Mercedes. Has taken over as technical director.
Wow.
Yeah,
I thought he was gone.
Yeah, no, he was retired or whatever.
He was.
And then the current technical director took a step back, and they brought James Allison back to try and fix this car.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that venture. I mean, I'd say
a decent car.
I'd say James Allison is probably the second best technical guy behind Adrian Newey.
Yeah. Oh, no one holds a candle to Adrian Newey.
Yeah, so
Red Bull's going to struggle heaps when he steps down.
Yeah, if he steps down, he's been talking about stepping down for 20 years.
He'll have to die. He'll be like Vince McMahon. He'll have to die to finally go.
I just wish someone would arrange Vince McMahon to die so we could get rid of him. So, yeah, but James Allison's rejoining to try and fix up the car. I think him coming back is their way of shutting Lewis Hamilton up, because Lewis Hamilton is not happy in that car.
I don't know why. Like, that car is doing as good as it can.
Well, there's actually a design flaw in that Mercedes that Lewis Hamilton has pinpointed as not being... It's not giving him the feel that he wants. Is that most cars, the driver cockpit is sort of in the middle, lengthwise.
Yeah.
The Mercedes is about a foot or two further towards the front end of the car.
Right. So he's not in the middle of the car.
No, he's closer to the front end of the car. Like, his feet are actually on top of the wheels.
Right.
Which is causing the back end to not be where he wants it to be, because the weight distribution is slightly off. And he has voiced that because it was the same thing they had going in last year's car. And he's voiced his opinion of it. And Toto keeps ignoring him.
Yeah, well, look, the best, one of the best advices a race driver has is feel.
Yeah.
Especially when he's in the car. and he wants to feel the front end gripping, and he wants to feel the rear end rotating, and he's obviously not feeling that if the cockpit's out of position.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a fickle thing, but drivers will know.
Yeah.
Drivers will know. Drivers will tell you. That's what Daniel Ricciardo's problem was with the McLaren. He couldn't feel the front end. He couldn't feel the front end, and under braking it might have only been minor, but it's just such a change when you're so used to one thing, and you've adapted your driving style to this one thing, and there's just this slight change, and it's just slightly off, and it'll bug them. It'll bug them for ages. So I don't know how Mercedes, they're going to have to wait till next year to fix that, obviously. It's not like you can move the cockpit back now.
No, that's right. But there's a bigger story it's internet rumour. It's internet rumour. And
they're the fun ones.
But both drivers have sort of denied it, but the rumour is still there. And that is that Ferrari and Mercedes are going to do a straight swap, with Charles Leclerc going to Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton coming to Ferrari.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Lewis wouldn't turn down a chance to drive a Ferrari, being the purist he is.
But I think that Charles Leclerc...
But Charles Leclerc was pointing at the Ferrari badge after Baku, after qualifying. When he got on pole, there's a photo of him pointing at the Ferrari badge.
Yeah.
Stating his intent that he is going to stay on.
But there are rumours that Carlos Sainz is going to get ditched.
Why?
I don't know.
Actually, to be fair, his performance this year hasn't been as good as in the past.
Yeah, like they're not.
Although last year he DNF'd like two of the first three races.
Yeah.
Like that.
But there is a rumour that Carlos Sainz, when his contract up, they're not going to renew his contract, and that he's going to go to Sauber.
Yeah, right.
But then it brings the question of who are they going to get to replace him then?
Surely it wouldn't be Lewis.
I think it'll be Perez. Red Bull ditches Perez, he goes to Ferrari, and they bring Daniel Ricciardo back. Because there is no one in the Red Bull Junior Academy system that's good enough to be in that car beside Max Verstappen.
Yeah, no, there isn't. Maybe. It could definitely happen. I mean, Daniel Ricciardo's definitely sitting there for a shot at the second seat.
Yeah.
And he's probably still good enough to be in that second seat. So, yeah, maybe. I would like to think that Perez is doing a good enough job at the moment. But is his contract up at the end of this year?
No, end of next year.
Yeah, okay. So I think he'll be fine for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Valtteri's contract is up at the end of the year. Zhou Guan Yu's is up at the end of the year. And there's rumours that neither of those two are going to get re-signed.
I was literally about to say it would be hard to re-sign either of those at the moment.
Valtteri, I could see a case for, but not you.
Yeah, Zhou Guan Yu has done nothing.
No. And Yuki Tsunoda's head is on the chopping block. But the
Yuki
drive...
Tsunoda is driving that AlphaTauri as best he can, though.
Yeah, well, I feel bad for Nick DeVries because he's just not connecting with that car, and that car is a sack of shit.
Yeah, it is.
It is a sack of shit.
It is truly dog shit.
But the one driver who is most at risk at losing their seat at the end of the year, and apparently he's been told he's got 4 races to sort out what the fuck he's doing, and I can't believe this. It's Kevin Magnussen.
Really?
Gunther Steiner has told him he's got 4 races to get some results, or he's not going to get his contract renewed at the end of the year. Like, I'm sorry.
Is that just the Haas thing to do?
Like,
Tell them that they've got 4 races to sort their shit out, or they're gone, as it's like some form of motivation.
Like, Gunther Steiner, like, he's just really plummeting with me. Like, he seems like such a colourful character, but he makes these stupid, rash decisions. And I'm sure Gene Haas has got some part to do with it as well. Like, we want results and da-da-da-da-da. Well,
what's Nico Hülkenberg been doing? Less? The same? The same. I don't think, maybe not less, but Nico Hülkenberg's not exactly scoring top 10s either.
No.
Like, what the hell?
You'd think the team would go for driver stability.
Yeah, you'd think you'd just lock them in for a few years just to stabilise the team.
Yeah.
Just for a bit of continuity.
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 That's the word. That word. That geezer.
That one.
I mean, they had Mick Schumacher. Yeah, he crashed and cost them a couple of $1 million with his car. But he is a future blue chipper, that guy. If you put him in a good car, he will come good.
He will haunt them. He will haunt them down the track.
Well, if he jumps ship and goes to Audi and they hit the ground running, which I reckon they will.
Yeah, I think they will.
Haas is going to fucking regret that decision.
Andreas Seidel's heading that project up, so
Yeah.
they will hit the ground running, I think.
Yeah. And then back to team personnel changing. So Franz Tost has announced that he is retiring at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
He's leaving AlphaTauri.
I mean, he's been in the sport a long time.
Do you know who his replacement is?
Who's his replacement at AlphaTauri?
He's getting replaced by current Ferrari sporting director, Laurent Michiels.
Oh, wow.
Or, as I like to call him, Kirk Hammett.
The guy looks like Kirk Hammett.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's taken over because he started at Toro Rosso, then went to Ferrari, and now he's going to take over as team principal at AlphaTauri.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah.
That'll be a good step up for him.
No more Kirk Hammett at Ferrari starting at the end of the year.
No, he's going to have to handle the shit show that is AlphaTauri.
Yeah, he's gone from one shit show to another.
Yeah.
He'll be able to take his supermarket notepad with him.
His spiral A4 notepad.
You have no idea how much of a pain in the backside those ones are to put together, eh?
Oh, I could imagine.
We actually do them at work for Mackay Sugar, and we have to actually have a guy who just spiral binds it on and then uses a $500 pair of clamps that look no worse than a pair of needle nose pliers to bend and twist the ends so that the ends bend inwards so you can't run the cover off.
I'm sure Laurent Michiels appreciates your efforts in providing Ferrari with supreme strategy content of the Spirax A4 notepad book.
We don't do those specific ones. But
that's all right, though. The thought's there.
The theory is sound.
Yeah. Every time
bit of continuity.
Every time you do one from now on, I want you to realise that Laurent Michiels thanks you. You are indirectly supporting Ferrari by giving him
helping with their strategy department.
a Spirax book for him to write.
I just want, if we had a spare one, I'd want to get one and just write Ferrari responses. Plan B, go to Plan B. We are checking. It was a mistake.
Question.
Question. And what's the other Ferrari say?
Oh, God. I don't know. There's too many.
Oh, lordy,
Just
Lord.
head them up. Just first 24 pages, just plan A through plan like X.
Yeah, and they're all the same plan.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all actually the same plan.
God.
Oh, the joys.
Right. So then that's all the news items. We get to the 2023 driver standings at the end of Azerbaijan. So Max Verstappen is leading the championship on 93 points. Sergio Perez is in second with 87 points. Fernando Alonso is third in the Aston Martin on 60 points. Lewis Hamilton is fourth with 48 points. Carlos Sainz is in fifth with 34 points. Charles Leclerc has jumped up into sixth place with 28 points, and he's tied with Jorge Russell. Lance Stroll's got 27 points?
Wow.
What?
How?
Hey? Oh, here we go. Lando Norris is in ninth with 10 points.
Hell yeah.
And then, I can't believe I'm reading this. Nico Hulkenberg is in 10th with 6 points.
Nah. I want him out.
What alternate reality are we in?
I want Hulkenberg out. He's got 4 races to prove why he shouldn't be in the top 10.
No, it's Magnussen who's got the 4 races.
Oh, what? What's Magnus? I'm going to see how many points Magnussen
Oh,
got.
here we go.
He can't be that much better than Nico Hulkenberg.
I'll just stall for time, eh?
We're doing the same thing. Yeah, it's a race. This is the most exciting race of the last 24 hours because it's sure as hell.
Well, Oscar Piastri is 11th with 4 points. He's tied with Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon, and Pierre Gasly. Zhou Guanyu is on 2 points. He's tied with Yuki Tsunoda. Alex Albon and Kevin Magnussen are tied on 1 point, and Logan Sargent and Nick De Vries are tied with 0. So Kevin Magnussen is listed here as 18th.
So K-Mag has got 4 races to get 4 points. 5 points.
Yes.
All right. Because Nico Hulkenberg is absolutely flying along with 6 points. Currently trailing a guy that didn't score points for the first 2 races in Lando Norris.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So,
Yeah.
good times.
So that's that. And then the team standings. Holy Christ. So the team standings, sorry, I've just read this for the first time. Red Bull is leading the constructors on 180 points.
Yes.
180 points.
They're pissing it in.
Aston Martin is second with 87 points. That's nearly a 100-point gap.
That's 4 race wins.
I mean,
that's 4 race wins, and we're like,
why we even keep going with this championship then? It's just Ferrari in 2002.
Because Lewis Hamilton fans deserve this.
Yeah, but they're beating Ferrari.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Lewis Hamilton fans deserve this.
We put up with it. Car.
We put up with this for a decade.
Yeah, but it's the car, mate.
No, it's
Max
the driver.
Verstappen's not that great a driver. It's the car.
Yeah, but Lewis Hamilton did it, and it was all Lewis.
Yeah, it was all Lewis.
Lewis
It wasn't
Hamilton's
the car.
greatest driver of all time. Oh, no. The Red Bull's too strong. It's the car.
Yeah.
All the car.
So Aston Martin is second with 87. Mercedes is third with 76. Ferrari has jumped up to fourth with 62. McLaren is fifth with 14.
Hey, we're off the bottom.
Yes.
That's good.
Oh, God. So fifth is McLaren. Sixth is Alpine with 8 points. Seventh is Haas with 7 points. Eighth is Alfa Romeo with 6 points. Ninth is AlphaTauri with 2 points, and restoring the status quo, Williams with 1 point.
Back to the bottom.
Back to the bottom.
Hashtag back to the bottom.
You coward, you blind man, back to the front.
That's right. That's right.
I finally got Metallica lyrics in a podcast. Yay!
Well done. You know what? After not scoring any points for the first 2 races, now we're ahead of 4 teams. 5 teams?
Yep.
That's pretty good.
That's a quality effort.
That's pretty good. Keep it going, McLaren.
Yeah, now we just got to get Williams to get some points.
Yes.
Maybe.
They're unlucky. Like, they were actually genuinely pretty quick this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, they were there or thereabouts.
Yeah, the problem is they got Logan Sargent.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Alex Albon was there or thereabouts all
Yeah,
weekend.
Nick De Vries could have signed with them. He could have signed with them. Instead, he went to the shitbox that is AlphaTauri.
That's all right. Nick De Vries could be AlphaTauri's downfall now. For Williams' sake.
For Williams' sake.
Yes.
For glory's sake.
Yes.
For Sparta.
For Brody and his internet doppelganger.
The Longhorns.
Longhorn and Longhorns.
Right. So that is Baku. And so next week we're back with the Miami F1. And we're also back with another one of our Stop the Damn Match wrestling ones as well next week.
Big week.
Big week. Big week. And I've got a double-header gig on Friday and Saturday night as well.
You're going to be a busy boy.
And I'm working. and I might have to go to a funeral. So
Man.
Fans of the channel might remember our dog Kiki. She goes in for a surgery tomorrow, so I'm going to be carting her up and down the stairs after a leg surgery. So that'll be fun. 6 weeks of carting her up and down. 23-kilo dog. Yeah, that's.
She'll be fine.
You
She's
live.
tough.
You live for these things.
Emotional roller coaster of a week coming up.
Yeah. Right, but next week we've got Miami.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be a better showing than the royal cluster beep we had last year.
You could say clusterfuck.
Can we say clusterfuck?
Well, I've sworn.
Too late now.
I've sworn a million times.
Yeah,
already,
same
mate.
here.
Sorry, Mum.
We've been demonetized. No. They have to monetize us for us to be demonetized.
That's right. We're not making any money, so we can't
Yeah.
be demonetized.
Yeah, that's why we can't have both the Longhorns on the books because we just can't afford it.
We can't afford both Longhorns. We only afford one.
We only get one, so we've got to get them to fight each other in Mortal Kombat.
That's it. It's the only way.
Right. So next week, Miami. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Until then, on behalf of JB, myself, and Longhorn, thanks for that, Longhorn. We will see you next week. Until then, it is goodbye.